Hello, everybody, and welcome to Christine's Momma Christine's podcast, Living Life Through Experience. It is Thursday, February 19th, and it is the month of love. And I know I talked about love big last week because of Valentine's Day and whatnot, but we're going to continue because love is not just about romance. Love is about self. It really is. So here we go. Let's pick a card. You know me, gotta always pick a card first. All right. Oh, right off the top. Here we go. Okay. Boom. Oh, deception. Okay. So that's a tough one to start with, right? So what does deception mean? You're always worried about who's deceiving you. You can't trust people. You can't trust the opposite sex, or I should say the same sex, a significant other, okay? My bad, sorry. And, you know, you always feel somebody's out to get you. Somebody's always going to steer you down the wrong path. If somebody's nice, it's like, oh, is it too good to be true? Yeah. So what has gotten you all so twisted that you feel like you can't trust anybody? I'm going to tell you something right now. I've been in 2 bad marriages. Started off great, ended off bad. And why? Because it was part of my life lesson. It was part of what I needed to learn about myself, because I can truly look at myself now at 58 and go back to when I was 21 and I got married. And I was just in awe that this person loved me. What I was really looking for was love, not a husband. I was looking for love that was missing within my own heart. Do I regret my marriages? No, not at all. Because again, it was something I had to go through. It was something I had to do for myself, and it was something I needed to learn. And therefore, out of all my teachings over the years, gives me the opportunity to help you. As I say, living life through experience. There's no right, there's no wrong, there just is. Always remember that. There just is. Now, to get back to deception, okay? You've been hurt. You have been disappointed. You have been made a fool of, right? Maybe you've had other people tell you how much they like you, either a friendship or a romance or a family member, a friend, you know, and only to find out they're talking about you behind your back. They've cheated on you. They just got what they wanted from you. They only ask for things when they need something. They only show up when they want something, you know, so on and so forth. And therefore you feel very deceived. And I get that. That's okay to feel when it happens. But then you need to heal. You need to let that go, because not everybody is the same. The only reason why we keep attracting the same person is because we don't change us. We don't heal. We don't let go. So therefore, living in fear of not being able to trust someone new coming into your life, whatever aspect of that it is, you're in that fear. So therefore, you attract the same thing. Also, if you haven't learned your lesson, it will keep returning over and over and over again. And I have to say, out of my 2 marriages, they were similar in one way, but very different in other ways. So the first one taught me to not lose my independence, not make excuses for another person's actions or choices. Stop protecting everybody from the right, the wrong, the whatevers, and be your own person, be independent. You know, you can be independent and be connected with someone else. The second one taught me that I had to learn to follow my heart, and that if something wasn't right, it wasn't right. And this is where I learned, which I tell you guys all the time, fix it, change it, or let it go. And that's what I did. You know, sometimes I think the universe has us set up to get everything that we need in life, whether it's through that person or through a situation or whatever. And then when it's done, it's done. And it set me on a path in a different direction in my life. But again, I had to experience those things in order to be where I am today? Can I help other people go through life with what's going on with them, whether it's relationships, self-love, narcissism, all those different, I couldn't do that for you if I didn't experience it and understand it. That's the biggest thing. People say, oh, well, my counselor doesn't get me. I'm like, well, sometimes a counselor is a counselor because they learned about it in school. They didn't come from a background of trauma that caused them to go to school to be able to help other people. Not that either person is good, bad, or otherwise. It's just a different perception. So when you see a therapist, or anybody for that matter, who has been there, done that, they understand. So therefore, I believe they can truly help you from the depths of their heart and their knowledge, right? And others, they're textbook knowledgeable, which is fine. But I find it, particularly for myself, hard to understand what someone else is going through if I haven't been through it. I can sit there and go, okay, I get it, sure, yeah, okay, and still not have a clue on what it feels like because I haven't been there. It's like somebody who, meeting people years ago that had lost their parents, and I was like, wow, that really sucks, but I have no idea what it felt like until my mom passed. And I was like, wow, this is what this feels like. I don't like it. It's grief. You go through it and then you heal and you move on. And I know my mom's been with me, and this year will be 20 years she's been gone. And then my dad died 9 years after her. So it was like, wow, to me, it was like to be only 47 years old and already both my parents were gone. It was like, that was crazy to me. It really was. So yeah, you can't understand something unless you've been there, done that. You know what I mean? So don't take deception as everybody's going to deceive you. And I know in relationships, romantic relationships mostly, is a lot of people are afraid to meet that next person. And I can attest to that because after being divorced for so many years, I did date a couple of people. But as soon as one little thing looked like it was a trigger of something from my past, I was like, oh, is this one going to turn out like the last one? So I had like heightened security, you know what I mean? Really paying attention. But again, just allow it to pay attention. Don't allow it to say, oh, this person's just like your last person. Because it turned out it wasn't the situation after all. It really wasn't. But again, even dating the two people I dated, it kind of gave me the heads up of like, remember this? There are certain aspects. And again, I just wanted to date. I didn't want a relationship. I didn't want commitment. I didn't want any of that stuff. I just wanted to get out there. And when I saw certain things, and in my head, it was like my old ways were like, oh, you can look past that. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, no. It's like, oh, make an excuse for it. No, I can't, and I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't what I want. This isn't what I want. So we parted and went separate ways. It was fine. It was no big deal. But it was like, yeah, it just, those triggers do sit there sometimes. And it's just like looking at old photos and going, oh my God, remember that? And so don't think everybody's going to deceive you. If you already know what deceit looks like and you know the red flags, then you're all set. If you meet somebody else and something comes up that doesn't feel right, have a heart-to-heart conversation with that person and see where they're coming from with it, okay? My mom was a drinker, and people know that. I've put it in my book. I've talked about it before. And so I was a little sensitive to the fact of people drinking too much and then flashbacks of my mother, And I'm like, no, I don't want to be with these people. And not that they were alcoholics, but it was just the trigger of seeing people drink, even with a slight buzz on. It was just like very off-putting to me. And I remember my second husband was very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'll just go with very mean, very rude, insensitive. That's the word I'm looking for, insensitive. Because holidays would come around and he would say, oh, I can't wait for your parents to get here so your mom and I can do some shots. Knowing very well that my mom was a drinker and I did not approve of that. Didn't care. Didn't care, you know? And those were the things that started building up. It got to the point that if he knew it triggered me, he would do it more. So I stopped letting it trigger me. And I'm like, you know what? You can shoot off your mouth all day long. You want to be insensitive? That's fine, but I'm not accepting your energy. I'm not accepting your words. And then from there, of course, we know where that went, out the door. Anyway, he was gone and life went on. But yeah, so the next thing I want to talk about when it comes to deception is you. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? So I want to read the bottom of the card. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. When it says false self, that's you, okay? That is you. How many times do we wear a mask throughout life? Many times. Maybe we feel so insecure that we wear this mask when we have to be around certain people that, oh, I got this, I'm good, I'm cool, I can handle this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, that's not who you are. First of all, you have to go back to, where did this insecurity come from? You're not born insecure. You're really not. You are born with a big heart, an open mind, and a willing to live life. It's only once you're here that the people around you say and do things that make you feel that way. And then what do? We accept it. And it's not your truth. Anybody can say anything. It's like a movie, a fictional movie. Things happen in movies that are not real. The words are not real. It's a movie. Well, so is everybody else in your life. They're part of your movie. What they do is their own thing. What they say about you is a script, something they just come out and say. Is it truth? It is not. The only truth is your truth, your self-truth. So think back. Who has made you feel like you need to put on the big face and be like, I can fit in with everybody? And deep down inside, you're dying because you feel you can't, okay? So how about you just take off the mask and be who you are? Because I can tell you right now, the rules of life are different for everybody. Maybe this person can skydive. You will not, okay? Not your thing, and that's okay. Does that make you a wimp? No. Does it make you a scaredy cat? No. Does it make you someone who has no interest in doing such a thing? Yeah, probably. Yeah, some of you might say, yeah, I'd be scared to death to do that. But you know what? That's okay. Everybody's tolerance level is different. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you good. It just makes you who you are. So stop wearing a mask and just be yourself. Masks come in many different forms. I know plenty of people who do my kind of work, and they're wearing a mask. And I'm going to be honest, and I don't like talking bad about anybody, and I'm not picking on anyone specific. But I've seen people come and go in this field of spirituality and healing and intuition and teachings and whatnot. And unfortunately, they're just doing it because everybody else is doing it. And it's kind of like over the years where these fortune tellers, we'll call them, will tell you all kinds of things and then charge you astronomical money to help you fix it. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody. Now, an honest to God, from your heart person would say, look, this is what you can do for yourself to move towards your goals, your dreams, or whatever it is, right? An honest to God teacher, and not turn around and say, okay, that'll be an extra $5,000 for that bit of information, okay? Those people wear false masks because they just want to deceive people all the time. They don't care. They're about what they can get from you, and it's not right. It's unfortunate, and it's not right. But again, it goes back to you. even if you run into someone, anyone, who seems like they're wearing that false mask and proclaiming to be something they're not, you know the red flags. Your intuition is on point always. How many times have you had a gut feeling like, yeah, this doesn't feel right to me? And you have to remember, instantly it won't feel right, but then your head will say, oh, but I really want to do that. Okay. Sometimes it's just that rush of doing something that feels fun without paying attention to what your body's telling you first. Always listen to your heart. Always listen to your gut. Always listen to that little voice that goes, don't do it. Okay. That's your truth. That's where you need to be. So let go of deception about yourself. Be who you are. Be love, be joy, be happiness, be quirky, be weird, um, be strange, be whatever you want to be. I mean, those are just descriptive words. It's whatever you think. Have some fun with it. I look at my kids, I have 3 kids, and they're all so different. And it's funny because I have 2 of them are twins, and talk about different. Wow. Like they don't even look alike. They look like sisters, but they do not look like twins. And one is very, I always say, very independent, fairy-like energy, free spirit, emo. She's not so much emo anymore, but all these just different things, and it's like, wow. And her twin is very like, not that one's not mature, but the other twin is very, mature, lives with her boyfriend, her fiance. Has a nice career. I mean, all my kids have a great career so far, which is I'm very thankful for. But it's like, I don't know, just so different. Like she's like everyday person, and takes care of work and house and fiance, and doing fun things. And the other one, I said, is very free spirited and kind of going with the flow of life and whatnot. And then then my son is very, I don't know, scheduled, I guess. He likes everything done a certain way, and he likes to do things his way, and that's fine, and so it's just very different. And again, is it bad? No, not at all. It's what makes them them. When you say someone's personality, well, you got to pay attention to that, because personalities are what make people who they are, right? It is their quirks, it is their weirdness, it is their ups, their downs, the soft energy, the heavy energy, the loud energy, the whatever it may be. Does it mean we have to associate with every person we meet? No, you're not going to. Is there people that you're not going to like? Yeah, of course. And there's reasons for those things. Why? Because maybe you don't like their personality. It doesn't match what your energy is. And that's fine. You don't have to like somebody. Just don't be mean to them, right? And again, people may not match with your energy and they may walk away. Do you take that personally? You should not. You should not. And I know this comes back to wearing the mask, because, but I wanted to be the good person for that person. I wanted to be their friend. I wanted to be their significant other, their soulmate, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but it doesn't always work. Don't look for someone else to fill the void in your heart. Fill the void yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. First and foremost, love yourself. Everything always goes back to self. No matter what you're doing, it always comes back around to self. So if things don't work out between you and a friend, you and a significant other, you and a parent, a sibling, anybody, don't say to yourself, what did I do wrong? Nothing. If you did not physically or verbally, emotionally, mentally do something wrong to that person, you've done nothing wrong. Sometimes energies just don't match. And we have to understand that, because you're going to drive yourself crazy wondering for the next year why you can't connect with that person. I don't understand. What is there not to like? Why don't they like me? Why won't they talk to me? Again, we're not supposed to get along with everybody. We can be kind to one another. It doesn't mean we need to be in each other's energy all the time. So remember those things. Think of self. Think of what within you is that negative aspect that holds you back, making you feel like you need people to love you. You know what I mean? Are you one of those people that need instant gratification all the time? Why are they ignoring me? Why aren't they answering me back? What's going on? They left me on red. I'm like, oh my God. I've done that. You ever send a text message and leave the phone open on the text and run to the bathroom instantly after hitting send? And the person writes back and goes, they're not responding, right? I'm sorry, I'm in the bathroom. Like, people don't think it's like instant gratification. If they don't get something back immediately, it's like, well, you should say, okay, I should send me a thumbs up. Let me know you read it. I'm like, well, it says read. Means I opened it and I saw it. How much more do you need, right? But again, people are always looking for that validation, that text message, that word, that whatever they need to make them feel like, okay, I've been acknowledged. Somebody sees me. You shouldn't have to need people to see you all the time. Is it nice? Oh, sure. But you don't need it. You need to be happy right here. Can you get upset when someone you expect to respond to you doesn't? Sure. You can say, well, I sent you a message. It would have been thoughtful of you to write back so I can make arrangements so we can go do whatever, right? That kind of thing, or whatever it is. So think about those things. Think about those things. And if you get that person who constantly never gets back to you or never reaches out, then you know what? Maybe just let it be. Let it be. No skin off my teeth, that's for sure. It is what it is. It is what it is. So I feel the need to pull another card. Here we go. Forgiving and learning. So that goes right along with your deception. Who's wearing the mask? Maybe it's time to learn your lesson. Maybe it's time to let go, right? Let go and move on. Did you get the lesson? Good. If you didn't, it's going to come back again. Maybe not with this person or this situation, but it will come back again. So let go, learn your lessons, move on. Love yourself for who you are. Stop thinking everybody's out to get you. Stop thinking everybody's going to cheat you. Stop thinking everybody's going to take your trust away. Stop thinking that you need instant gratification. You need acknowledgement. You need validation to make yourself feel worthy. You should feel worthy all on your own. You really should. So, next, getting to know each other. That's you getting to learn your new self. Okay? As you reveal your innermost self to each other, your bond deepens. Meaning, once you start digging into who you are without listening to the chatter outside of yourself, you start to have a better bond with yourself. They say as people get older, they get wiser and they don't care anymore about certain things, of course. And it's like, you know what? It's true, but probably not in the way everybody thinks. A lot of people think that once you get older, say you're in your 60s or 70s or whatever, and you're like, whatever, I don't care, right? I think it's because a lot of people finally learn that lesson. I don't care what people think. I don't care if they don't like the clothes I'm wearing. I don't care if I look like a slob today. I'm comfortable, right? They finally learned. That's what it is. And if you really pay attention, a lot more people today, younger, are learning that same thing. Don't care what I look like. Don't care what you think. Yes, sometimes somebody can say something and it makes me feel bad and it hurts me, but then I process it and I move on from it. I found myself in my 40s already going, whatever, don't care. Don't. Things would happen. It's like, whatever, we'll fix it. I didn't fly off the handle. I've had some big issues happen in 20 years, big. And it's like, People looked at me, and I had one friend look at me and says, "Wow, you handled that with grace." I said, "Well, how else should I handle it? Because flipping out doesn't do anything. And it is what it is, and I can't change it, so I just have to move through it." And that's exactly what I did. So, get to know the real you, not the negative talk. Get to know the real you, the beautiful you, beautiful inside and outside, smart, happy, lovable, worthy, right? You are well deserving of everything in life, just like everybody else. You know, when you see a lot of, and I know it's not everybody, I want to put that out there, but I'm looking at the world in a whole thing, okay? You see these big, powerful people running big companies, like dominating everything. And it's all money. And it's looks and it's clothes and it's cars. And it's like, wow, those people are so unhappy. And I know people look, what do you mean they're unhappy? They have all the money in the world. And I'm like, because money doesn't make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. I find that people that live in an ego-based life don't really find happiness. And I'm not saying they need to let go of their wealth to find happiness, because you can have both. There's plenty of people out there who have a ton of money. They're very happy. They help others. They're kind. They're courteous. You know, they're right there to pick someone up, not put them down. And yeah, so, you know, it's all on your choices. Your choices manifest what's coming up for you. So change a lot of what's in here. So now, where I find a lot of this energy shifting that's going on right now has started was from last year. And last year, of course, you guys know we just had the new Chinese New Year come in and whatnot. And last year was the year of the snake. Now, the snake is about healing. If you go to a pharmacy, what do you see? Two intertwined snakes, right? And they kind of make that statue. And that's all about healing. Snakes are all about shedding the skin. Which means last year was all about doing just that, getting rid of all the old stuff, right? So maybe some of you are going, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. Then good, okay? You've gone through hell and back last year, hit the mud, got back up, kept going, so on and so forth, and let go of a lot of things, let go of a lot of people, did a lot more self-care, moving things out of the way that are in your way to get you to where you want to be now. And it's like, because we all made goals, we all made dreams, and it's like, oh man, why can't I get there? Because last year was the year of getting ready to approach this year. So yes, that meant a lot of letting go, a lot of messy stuff, so on and so forth. And it's funny because in numerology, 2025 adds up to 9, and 9 means now's the time, get going. Well, when you say get going, you have to start the process. Well, in order to, again, if you're going from A to Z, you have to hit everything in between, which means releasing and letting go and healing and getting hurt and standing back up and getting back down and going back up and doing more healing and so on and so forth. Releasing and letting go what no longer serves you, whether it's people, places, situations, it doesn't matter. So that now, 2026 is all about new beginnings, because 2026 adds up to 10, and 10 is all new beginnings, right? So all that hard work last year for the healing and the letting go is now going to apply this year. Now, of course, anybody is very impatient and goes, okay, it's January, it's 2026. What is happening? Why is nothing happening? Where's my goals? They're not there. Just because the calendar shifts to January 1st of a new year doesn't mean things happen instantly. Patience, okay? So now we're into January. Still feeling kind of so-so. Here comes February. Things feel like, energy's kind of getting funky, okay? It's feeling different. This week on the 17th was the Chinese New Year, the year of the fire horse. And oh my God, the energy personally that I could feel on Tuesday was crazy, absolutely crazy. And a lot of high energy, fiery energy, making things happen, being assertive, determined, motivated, and it's all about new beginnings. Not only on Tuesday did the fire horse year of the fire horse start, it was also a new moon, which is manifesting, and it was also a solar eclipse, which is what? A ring of fire, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy energy. Now, this year being 2026, new beginnings, now you're going to see things moving towards your goal. Like your goals are going to be reached this year. When, I don't know what you got going on, so I don't know what day, what month, okay? We all have things we want to happen, even myself. There's a lot of shifting and changing I want to see happen in my work, in my life, and so on and so forth, and I'm just looking forward to it. So think of that, okay? Okay, a little patience. Things are going to start shifting and changing. Transformation is happening. So go with that. Now, if you feel like I'm not feeling any of that, nothing happens for me, then guess what? You need to go back and work on self, okay? Again, get to know who you are. Take yourself back to the day of birth. I am a happy, loving, peaceful, open-minded, heart-centered human. And remember that anything negative that has come at you between then and now is not true. Not true. Anybody who's thrown that at you is only shooting at you a reflection of themselves. So if they are complaining about how stupid you are, or how unworthy you are, it's because that's how they feel about themselves. It's got nothing to do with you. Nothing. Okay? But now that we've focused on the healing and letting go and loving the self, okay? Do you have to love yourself 100% and be healed 100% in order to move forward? No. Healing is an everyday process from now to the rest of your days, as they say, because life is a process, life is a practice, and every day there's going to be things for you to work on. Whether it's letting go of a doubt you have in your mind, whether it's letting go of some stress, some anxiety, doing whatever you need to do for yourself, right? To hold up that self-love. Is it difficult? Yeah, maybe in the beginning because it's a healing process. But once you start feeling really good about yourself, which doesn't have to take that long, it depends on how much work you're going to put into it. To me, healing is like exercise. When you start exercising, oh my God, like it's hard in the beginning and you're hurting like hell the next day. Like, oh my God, I'm so sore and so on and so forth. But the more you do it, the easier it gets and the less it hurts. Healing is the same way. At first, it's tough, but keep at it, keep going, because you'll find that you will get to that point where, you know what, I love myself for who I am. No, I don't care what's going on in the world. Yeah, that might have been mean what they said, but you know what, that's on them, that's not me. You'll get there, you will. So, once that happens, you'll find that your goals and your dreams will start falling into your lap a lot quicker, faster, easier, okay? All you have to do is trust. It's really what it's about. Trust and believe that all this can happen, okay? It really, really can. And then you can start following your heart. What is your passion? Is it a passion for someone or something, a goal, a dream, a business venture, going on a trip? What is your passion? What does your heart want, right? Because heart wants are not always about romantic interconnections. What the heart wants is to go skydiving, to go to Hawaii, right? To just have a peaceful weekend where I'm alone and I can just sit with my tea and drink my book, right? What does your heart want? Think about those things. So as we continue through this month of February, the month of love, and remember, I know we talk about the month of love. It's like Christmas. Every day you should act like it's Christmas. Be nice. You know, Thanksgiving. Oh, be grateful. Yeah, well, you should be grateful every day. Okay? So here's some things that you can do to help yourself along the way. Okay? Remember, love yourself every day. Look in the mirror every morning. You know you're going to walk right by it. So just stop for a second. Look at yourself. Look in your eyes and say, I love you. You are an amazing person. When you have your negative thoughts, remember, catch them and turn them around to a positive thought. Start a journal. If you're feeling bad about yourself, write it all down in your journal. Get it out, okay? Take another page. Today, I am grateful for, and write it all down, whatever it is. Write 5 things, 10 things, 20 things, fill the page, fill the notebook, I don't care. Do it, okay? All these little things help. Listening to guided meditations, just about clearing your stress, clearing your energy, right? Maybe a chakra balancing meditation. Go for a massage, go for a Reiki session, go to a sound bath. Self-care is important for your self-love. It truly is. So remember that, okay? Remember that. Take care of the self, because nobody's going to take care of it for you. You have to take care of it. There's a big difference between taking care of who you are as a person compared to being like, okay, I'm 80 years old, I can't take care of myself anymore, somebody needs to take care of me. That's different, okay? And again, if you're living a really good life, who knows, you could live longer because you're happier, right? Who knows? I don't know how that works, spiritually or scientifically, but I always find, I think people who are cranky, miserable, angry all the time, or down on themselves all the time, tend to live a really long life, and it's not a pleasant one. I've seen it a few times. I don't know if that's how it works or if that's scientifically proven or whatever, but I've just seen that myself with some people, and it's like, it's sad. It's sad. It really is. But anyway, love yourself. Be yourself. It doesn't matter what you look like, what shape you are, what size you are. Your insides and outsides just need to be happy. And if there's something that truly doesn't make you happy, then make a change, right? Make a change. The only one who can change is you. You're the only one who can change you. It's all up to you. It's your choice. But I think you're perfect just as you are. So, with that being said, this is where I'm going to leave you guys this week. Continue on with the self-care, the self-love, whatever you need. Alrighty? And remember, here we go. Oh my God. Love yourself first. Right? There you go. Last message. Love yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Guys, have a great week. Continue on the love. I love you. I thank you. And I'll talk to you next week. Take care.